All right. Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful, amazing, spectacular tea people. I hope you are doing well. It's been a while. Lots of stuff has been going on. As you can see, I shaved the sides of my beard. I think the beard will be going very, very soon. So the beard won't be around too much longer. It's a little bit hot here in Taiwan now that we're back in Taiwan, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, and there's been lots of reasons why, and we'll get into them today. We will get into why there's been a lot of reasons why I'm not doing a lot of live streams recently. But this Sunday will be sort of the normal Sunday, and what's going to happen on the normal Sunday, a couple things will happen. There's going to be 4 teas released. One of them is going to be this. This is the Snow Pick GABA, and we'll get into why it's only being released right now. So the Snow Pick GABA, and so we got Snow Pick GABA, then we got, not the Snow Mist GABA. We got a Snow Mist, Snow Mist GABA, Snow Pick Charcoal Roast Oolong, which I got earlier. I've been waiting to release it. It's going to be released as well. And what's the other two? 3 Shades of Bashan is back again this year, so that'll be released. And then the last one is a Jade Mountain GABA. But I have not been live because I just got back to Taiwan, I guess, last week, and it's been pretty crazy. In a minute, I'll show you what's behind me. So I was supposed to come back to Taiwan, and I was going to come back to Taiwan, I guess, a week ago last Sunday. So I guess almost 2 weeks ago now. And a couple of days before I was supposed to come back, there's a big typhoon that hit this exact spot. So I was in Canada, and we've got the security cameras. The security camera was there, and we literally watch the typhoon come on the security camera. Right? It's like trees were the cars are like go with all the wind. And so when we actually got back, there was no possible way for us to get back to our house the way we usually come. So usually it's about a 2-hour train ride. It actually took us 2 days. We had to go all the way around the island, and it was a bit much. It was a bit much, but thankfully our house here and the people that we know, there's a lot of trees that came down, but there wasn't really big damage with that typhoon. So thankfully there wasn't that too big of a typhoon. And, I say it 1,000 times, but generally speaking, the damage when it comes to natural events in general is due to lack of preparation, which can come from a lot of places, but usually it's poverty. And so here in Hualien, one of the higher standards of living in the world, and so people's houses are just sort of built for that. Although the neighbor over here did sort of lose his roof, so another thing. We couldn't park anywhere near our house because they were fixing the roof. But anyways, thankfully nobody got hurt, and there wasn't big things going on. Currently cold brewing 3 different Oriental beauties. Got any thoughts on cold brewing? Well, there you go. That's a perfect question. That's a great question because the last box that went out, there's still a couple boxes left. If anybody wants them, this month's subscription box was the cold brew thing that goes out, the cold brew box. And so there were 6 teas in there, and actually a lot of the teas that are going to be released, not the charcoal roast, a lot of the teas that are going to be released on Sunday were in that box. And what are my thoughts on cold brewing? The best thing to do with cold brewing is experiment, and that's basically it. You just experiment. Now, the way I do it, I do a standard way of doing it, 2 grams in like a 600 milliliter bottle. 500 milliliters is good too, so half a liter. You stick it in the fridge for anywhere from 12 to 48 hours, and then you sample it, and you get a really good idea of what the taste is. One of the biggest problems with cold brewing the teas, if you want a cold brew tea that's intense flavor, that's really hard to do. You have to put in a lot of tea, or you have to leave it for a long time. But if you want to sort of have the equivalent of smart water or flavored water, one of these types of things, it's amazing. And you stick it in there, and you let it go for a couple days, and then you sample it, and you're just like, oh wow, because all of the stuff that's in there that doesn't work really doesn't work. So for example, the 3 Shades, for example, that I haven't done a live stream on, maybe I did before I left. It's been sitting for a while. That one tends to get a little bit astringic-y. if you brew it too long. But if you cold brew that, it's amazing. It really is. It really is just spectacular. So I don't know, any specific questions about cold brews? If you have any specific questions, just let me know. But that's sort of what's going on. So again, this tea will be released on Sunday, and it's such a funny tea. So this one is the last snow mist tea to be released. I've still got some of the other snow mists, so I'm gonna go through there and do it again. But the GABA, the snow mist GABA, needs to sit. So when you have it fresh, there's like a bitterness or astringency in the background, basically like a sourness that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And if you let it sit till the summertime, like I don't put it in air conditioning, I just stick it in a bag on a shelf so it gets to like 30 degrees for days on end, like 30, 40 degrees for day, maybe not 40, but 30 degrees for days on end. And it just ages the heck out of it really fast. And now it's ready to go. And it is, if you like the GABA teas and you like snow mist, this is it. It's pricey, right? It's expensive. It's a snow mist tea. But it tends to sell out better than most of the other snow mist teas, to tell you the truth. I might have to jump on that box if there's more left. Yeah, there's more left for sure. And like I said, that box there's 6 teas in it, and they're just the teas that are the best for cold brew. I did a blind taste between the Pear Mountain and the Chilai Mountain. Both of them are obviously very, very good cold brew. Generally speaking, oolongs work the best, and they're amazing cold brewed. Both those teas, but it's a blind taste to see if you can tell the difference in the terroirs. See if you can get the tartness of the Chilai Mountain terroir. And then the mystery tea, there's a mystery tea in there as well. And so you can cold brew it or brew the mystery tea and see if you can tell what type of tea and where it's from. But this tea will be released on Sunday, and it's got the sweetness. And what I really like about it, let's see if you can see it. Can you see? Can you see? Yeah, I guess you can sort of see. Anyways, there's so many colors going on in this tea, right? So when you brew it, there's the green, and there's the brown, there's the oxidization, there's the like high oxidization, leaves it look almost like black tea, leaves it look like the oolong, and then everything in between. And you can see, because it's such an uneven oxidization when they do it. And so what you get, these flavors, you get some of the high mountain stuff, you get obviously the GABA stuff, and it's just a really complex tea, which, like I said, it doesn't work unless you let it sit. And I let it sit, so it's good to go. So like I said, there was a big old typhoon that hit here. We were supposed to come back on Sunday, and I think the typhoon, it was a category 4, and it hit us hard. Like it hit Hualien hard. It was a category 4. And I guess it hit on Thursday and Friday. And so we arrived back in Taiwan on Monday. We left on Sunday. We arrived on Monday. And there's no way to get the easy way. Hey, how's it going, man? There's no easy way to get to Hualien. So we had to go so this is Taiwan. Here's Taipei. Here's Hualien. So we had to go like this all the way down. It could have taken us 1 day, but it took us 2 days because we were all jet lagged. So we had jet lag in various places. So we were down in Kaohsiung for a day and waking up at 3 a.m., going to a laundromat in downtown Kaohsiung, walk around the 7-Elevens with my boys. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. So 3 o'clock in the afternoon for us, right? Canada to Taiwan's 12 hours. So we're walking around like, and there's all the people that are in a big city at a 7-Eleven at 3 o'clock in the morning looking at us going like, we're just like, hey, how's it going? Do you guys have Pokemon cards? Like, okay, boys, we got nothing to do. It's 3 a.m. I'll buy you some Pokemon cards. And so we're going to the 3 o'clock in the morning 7-Eleven in Kaohsiung, which is sort of the second biggest city, with all these people, like people who are obviously working. And then we went to we had the laundromat all to ourselves. But I was trying to put it into context for my boys, and I didn't know how far, 9 and 11, right? So but thankfully it's Taiwan, so it's not dangerous in any stretch of the imagination. Mm. And I still have some of the other snow mist teas left, so maybe I'll try and do like a 25 grams of each type of thing with the rest of them. But anyways, this will be, oh, there's so much going on in this tea, right? Now, the GABA, there's another GABA that's being released on Sunday as well. That's the Jade Mountain GABA. And the Jade Mountain GABA, the reason I've had it for a while as well, but I let it sit. GABA is good to let it sit, but that one is like, boom. It's like the flavor and the amount of GABA in it is so high that if you're sensitive to GABA, you know, it's literally like I've never taken lithium, but you know, like how I would imagine one of these tranquilizers to be. You drink that tea and you're just like, you know, it's so high in GABA. It's got a strong flavor, super high in GABA. This is not the same. This has only got, so if that one's got like 10 out of 10, this one's only like maybe a 4 to a 5 out of 10 for GABA. So you get the GABA-ness, you get the GABA flavor. But like I said, there's so much more going on in this tea. And just by looking at the leaves, you can tell. Like there's so many different colors. Like each leaf looks like, you know, freshly, like mid-September leaves falling down. They're still green on them. They're not quite bright like a black tea would be. Anyways, I like it. How was Canada? How was Canada? Oh, so that's is that the 1010 GABA? Just tuning in. Thanks. No, this is the snow mist GABA. So the like the GABA that's got like, I bet you I don't think he measures it because he didn't make too much of it, but that's the Jade Mountain stuff. My guess is it would be like 300 milligrams on however they measure it. This would be only like 100 to 150 milligrams. My guess, right? But that's the Jade Mountain. That's a Jade Mountain one that'll be released on Sunday along with this tea. But there's 4 teas. So Jade Mountain, the Jade Mountain GABA, the Snow Mist GABA. There's a Snow Pick charcoal roast tea that's ready to go, and this year's 3 shades of Ba-Xian. And that one a little bit more heavily oxidized than last year, but it's funny because my you know, we're packing up the tea and one of the leaves fell down, and you know, my wife's like, ate some of the leaves. She's like, is that guava? Tastes like guava. I was like, the Ba-Xian is so fruity this year, crazy fruity. But yeah, the 3 shades is back. The other one's a little bit yellow. What's your favorite GABA? For me, absolutely, that would be the Alishan GABA. The Alishan GABA is my favorite. One of the reasons why I got the Jade Mountain GABA was because it was done with the Qin Shin cultivar. So I got to get the Alishan GABA back in. That's what I got to do this because it's sold out. But the Alishan GABA is the Jinshen or the Milk Oolong cultivar. This one is also Qin Shin, but the Jade Mountain is the Qin Shin. And then there is the Mingjian GABA, which is 4 seasons. Dark flower GABA, I think is what I called it. So those 3 are basically done the exact same way, same oxidization levels, but different cultivars. And out of the 3 cultivars, that's why I put them together. They're kind of like 3 different cultivars of doing the same style of tea. It's quite interesting. And my favorite is the creaminess that comes out of the Alishan GABA. That's my favorite. But they're all really good. Like there's a beautiful floral that comes out of the Jade Mountain GABA. So that beautiful floral, again, is going to be released on Sunday. Now, forgive me. Have you noticed yet? Have you noticed that there are no cicadas, even though I'm sweating profusely? There are no cicadas. And the reason there are no cicadas is because the typhoon basically knocked them back. So the cicadas are there. There's birds, but there's no cicadas right now because they got knocked back. Why does the 3 shades have a residue when you brew it? Can you talk about the residue? Are you talking like sort of like on the top, like an oily thing that comes up off the top? Or are you talking about after you brew it in the bowl? So what is the residue? Because there's various types of residues that might come up. Also one like bubbles at the top when you first brew the tea. So what type of residue are you talking about? Tons of cicadas in Chicago right now. Very loud late summer this year. Well, I guess you guys need a typhoon to knock back the sound pollution from the cicadas. Do you have any of the machine-made teas for sample or sale? Next time, I'll say it again. Anybody out there, if you want to try the I just call them the Big Machine teas. So there's the Big Machine Red and the Big Machine Green oolongs. If you want to try them, when you make an order, send me an email. I'll throw them in your order and you can try them out. I haven't offered them up for sale yet because I don't really have very much of them. And I think this winter time, that's when they're really going to come out. That's when there's going to be some really decent ones. But if you want to try them, I've got enough for whoever wants to try them, but really not enough to sell them. And so if you want to try them, just throw them next thing you have. Just let me know. Throw them in. I want to try all the Big Machine teas, please. Yes. Well, well, next time you make an order, just remind me and I'll let you know. But there was a question, how was Canada overall? It was an absolute wild success. I haven't been back to Canada for 5 years. I hadn't been back. And so it was just a wild success. We went to see a baseball game. I mean, the Jays lost like 13-0. So felt, but the boys got to see it. And, we're up at the cottage, perfect weather, caught a bunch of really big bass. The sunsets were beautiful. My family, all of my family has moved to Guelph of all places. And so I spent some time there. And it was nice, and overall it was overall really good. And what I was, hey man, how's it going? One thing that I was really happy about in my trip back to Canada, the news that gets out is, what do they say? They don't talk about plane landings, right? They don't talk about plane landings. We'll order more teas now. Wait till Sunday if you want to try. I'll do the same thing on Sunday with the 10% off all the new teas. So if you want to wait till Sunday, that's a good way to do it too. They don't talk about plane landings. They talk about plane crashes. And so all the news that comes out of Canada is all the really sort of bad stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's some bad stuff going on in Canada right now, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as the worst case scenario. I didn't know what to really expect, but it wasn't as bad as the worst case scenario. And that made me really happy. There were a couple of things that happened that were a little bit, like, I don't know whether the next time anyways, it wasn't as bad as the worst case scenario, but the worst case scenario was not far away. Let's put it that way. So let's hope and pray that doesn't happen. Let's hope and pray that doesn't happen, because this time it was awesome. People were nice. One of the things for me that was kind of dramatic, like my Mandarin's pretty good, but it was fun just to be able to shoot the shit with people in English. It was quite fun. It was quite fun. Haven't been able to do that for a while. Sounds delightful. I'm headed to Stratford, Ontario to catch some Shakespeare next week. Oh, Stratford. I actually have family in Stratford. And that's, isn't that funny? Yeah, it's a very strange place. It's a bifurcated place. It's like all the Shakespeare people and all of the, like blue collar working people and no one in between. That's all that's there, just like that. And one of the fascinating things is they get along, or they used to. I think I haven't heard anything bad, but they get along really well. So anyways, Stratford is a small town in Southern Ontario, an interesting place because I can't remember what happened. It was either like a really good teacher or something happened where they got into Shakespeare. And so maybe it was the thing. I can't remember the origin story of why it happened, but I actually had a cousin who grew up there, and he was the blue collar side of things, originally from there. My family's from Southern Ontario, some of them anyways. And